Listen, man, it's gonna be a good day. Anytime me and Big Bro get to link up for a couple hours of live content, man, to feed the people, the greatest fans in the damn land. Like, let's go, man. I'm here for it, dog. We out here like Death Row in the '90s. Just everybody in the studio recording right now. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody.
And try to
Snoop,
stay alive, try to dodge
Corrupt,
Diddy. You feel me?
Ass, Dog Pound is in here, bro. We
You
doing
know?
the big, man. So listen, the big story, right? We gotta get to it. The big story is Shedeur Sanders just showed out. Now, obviously, you guys saw that on the UCSS post-game show. He showed out. You know what I'm saying? He did what he was supposed to do. Earl, for me, and I'm gonna ask you, the most impressive thing to me wasn't the fact that he put up those type of numbers, and those numbers were very impressive because we had heard all along one of the statements that we had heard so often was that if Shedeur Sanders got into these football games, it was going to be worse. It was going to be worses. And not only did that not happen, but when you put up those type numbers, people going to be charged up. But for me, I thought it was the fact that he handled the level of pressure, because one thing that I started to see, and I'll get your thoughts on this. I started to see very early on that they wasn't playing by the same rules. It was like, okay, Dylan got his 6 games. We did the post-game shows, right? And we was there for those shows, doing the Dylan Gabriel, how did he play? What did he look like? What was the progression? And then I thought it was real funny how they had one game and it was almost like, oh, if he don't do nothing against the Raiders, it's done. They might go back to Dylan or Deshaun. I said, this is crazy work to me, Earl. What was your thoughts about that?
Yeah, like when I first heard, the whole Shadeur's week to week thing, I thought that was kind of odd because that was never the energy that Kevin Stefanski had for Dylan Gabriel. It was always Dylan Gabriel was our starting quarterback. And lo and behold, he gets a concussion and everything changes. So to me, I was probably one of the few people that was actually shocked when Kevin Stefanski came out Monday and said, hey, Shadeur's my starting quarterback for the rest of the season. And, not to throw anything into the drama pool or to speculate, but I wonder if that call came above his head, to be quite honest with you, because up until that moment, everything was this week to week this and this week to week that. But I too believe that everything is not really just defined within the numbers, even though the numbers were spectacular, right? I think the eye test is the biggest telltale, right? When you talk about reading somebody's body language, when you talk about just being able to like sense the level of confidence, the level of poise, and the level of self-belief, and I could go out here and perform at the highest at the highest level to the best of my ability, then that's already half the battle. And I thought that he was very, very well prepared. A lot has been said about the whole pre-draft process and things like that. And we in this whole documentary phase right now, right? Pretty sure everybody watching the Diddy documentary, right? Remember a couple months back when they dropped the Dallas Cowboys documentary, and one of the things that stood out to me is when Emmitt Smith talked about, yeah, man, Dion, like, man, he talk a lot, he real flashy, he come with all of that. But Dion is also somebody that's a student of the game. He studies hard. He's very prepared. Not only that, man, his father come from that old school class to where his mama didn't play with him, right?
Yeah,
There's a different level of oomph that Dion was raised with. So quite naturally, as a father, I'm a father, you pass some of those traits over and characteristics over to your kids, right? So where these are things that money can't buy. Being prepared, right? Being a constant professional, things like that. You can't pay to have those characteristics, right? Those are things that you are taught at home at an early age and is instilled in you. And so any narrative that was painted or created that Shedeur Sanders was a young man that was ill prepared, I thought that was just flat out like just hating, like for no absolute reason, right? Like we still trying to figure out like what was the whole point in all that. So to see him take all of this serious, right, from the time that he was named the starter and just double down on the level of preparation because he understood what time it was. He understood that he was really playing with a different deck of cards than everybody else. And sometimes, like in life, some of us, man, we got to figure out how to make 6 books out of this hand that we dealt. You either gonna cry about it or you're gonna figure out a way to get it done. And just to see him go out there and you can see the continued progression, right? You can see him always being in the lab and trying to get better at the things that he feel like is his strengths, but also really honing in on the things that he might feel is his challenges as well. And to see him like be able to translate that on the football field in this particular game against the Tennessee Titans, like I thought that was amazing, right? You seen the poise, you seen the confidence, you seen him basically reading the defense and making the proper checks at the line of scrimmage. You know, Mike brought up the stat today about like the how long he held the ball, and I guess it was like low. That's cool and all, but I thought, me personally, that he did a good job of processing. I thought he did a good job of like making a proper read and getting the ball out on time. I go back to the 60-yard dime with Jerry Jeudy. Talk about another week of preparation and communication with your number one wide receiver, to where you go back and you look at that route. They both made an in route adjustment when they seen that safety wasn't there, right? It's almost damn near he threw him open to a spot to where he could keep running. And so Shedeur had about a good 8 to 12 throws in that game that just made you go, wow, or made you go, damn. Like, that's what he got. And this only been the sample size we had. So outside of the stats, man, I was just really, really excited to see him continue to take that next step. I go back to an interview he had the week of his first start, and he talked about, man, hey, I'm a hands-on learner, right? Got to get out there and get my feet wet and just kind of like, see what I could do. And then once I figure out what's what, even through the mistakes, all right, bet. Now corrective action is going to take its own course. So yeah,
it's so funny because, and a lot of people don't be getting it, man. And this is why I love the Barbershop. So we've talked about it like off top, like, you know what I'm saying? When we was doing shows together, we talked about how it is, like, you know what I'm saying? One of your favorite artists is Young Dolph, right? And how Dolph just refused to, like, listen, Yo Gotti them was like, yo, we trying to put you on here, like, listen, no.
I got my own tanks, I got my own cars, like paper route. We over here like this, man. Rule number 1, get the money first. Rule number 2, don't forget to get the money. Play by these rules and everything will be okay. Let me stop.
Hey, that energy, as a youngin', that energy is that's the energy to want to make something of your own. And I was like, and I had an inkling, because here's the thing too, we got to give them, and I'm gonna tell y'all this here in the chat too, y'all got to forgive some of these folks. You know why? Because I told you how it was. A lot of people don't be paying attention like that. For some people, this the first time they done seen it. This the first time. So a lot of people, like, if you was watching and you knew and you was on it, you was like, oh, listen, no. Let me show you this game. This was different. That's why when it was like, yo, they said he don't. I said, bro, you don't understand. Like, what do you mean he don't know how to get in and out the huddle or repeat the verbiage? I said, bro, this. I said, man. And so now the problem is, and here's how we go with it now, because I agree with what you said. I always tell people this: never be afraid to take new information and use it to your advantage. If I just saw what I saw, I don't care if I never seen Shedeur Sanders. If I saw what I saw, that's the first time me seeing him, Earl, and he was cooking like that. You know me. Listen, G. Bush ain't never doubled down on nothing. Listen, when Carson Sweat, it took me a couple practices. I said, let me see what this Carson Sweat is.
Hey, funny. I still remember we was doing a live stream for the second day of the draft. And when the Browns picked Carson Sweat, I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Me, Mike, and G was like, who? They took who? And going back in it, I learned a lot about my profession, right? Just when you think you prepared, make sure you prepare some more. Just when you think that you done looked up all the top prospects, right, make sure you checking that list twice, right? Because bad job out of me. And like some people let us hear it. I didn't know much about Carson Sweat
at all.
I didn't know nothing about Carson Sweat at all. Fast forward to where we are now, man. He is one of my favorite players on the entire team.
On the squad.
Me and you gonna talk about him later on in the Ultimate 216 show, man. But yeah, man. So that's just an example of with new information, you got to change it. And you know what else made me think about that? So of course, last week Chris Henry Jr. just committed to Ohio State, right?
Right.
And I remember when we drafted Braylon Edwards, Chris Henry was drafted in the 3rd round of that same draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, Braylon rookie season did not get off to the best start.
No, I think
he played Cincinnati for the first time, and Chris Henry is going off. And I just remember looking like, hey, who the hell is that? And why did we draft him instead?
Who's this guy? Like this dude is nice. And when you see the information, so when we talk about the quarterback situation and you see what it is, not only was it, I thought it was a great game because I thought it checked all the boxes. For Shedeur, it's one of these things, and hopefully we get to the point where we just talk about the football field and everybody know we can play, and then we can kind of talk about what other coaches and other fan bases do, which is how we get this team to the Super Bowl. But I thought the pocket presence was there. I think he showed the athleticism that people acted like he just didn't have. You talked about the 8-9 wild throws that he threw. You talk about coming back. I love the way he came back from adversity after an interception. I love what he did right there. All of those things. And those things are things that I think dead talking points. But like we always talk about it, Earl, though. Let's keep it a buck, though. The numbers was crazy. Browns, Unc and my man Unc and Ocho Cinco, they was already on it. Nightcap, 4 total touchdowns, 393 total yards. First rookie quarterback to throw for 300 yards this season. That shut a lot of people up. And then this one, we talked about it on UCSS. First rookie quarterback with over 350 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown in the game in the Super Bowl era. Joe Burrow, Shedeur Sanders. My thing is, let me ask you this. Why is there so many people? Then this pool is getting shorter. Why are there so many people that are resistant to this? Like, because when I see it, it would just shut me up. I was just like, I'm going to go over here and chill out. That was a crazy game. Why do you think that there's so many? Well, it was the Titans. Well, we got to pump our brakes. Why do you think that is? And speak to it from our fan base, because a lot of people, this are people. What's going on here? What are we doing?
All right. So in my opinion, I think that when people are too stubborn or stubborn enough not to change their minds or change their opinion or admit they were wrong when new information is presented to them, they've already made their mind up one way or another that no matter what happens, this is the side of the fence that I'm on and I'm staying here. And me and you both know how this media game goes, right? And this media game depends on who you choose to consume the content from. It can help drive whatever personal narrative that you have as a fan, right? So if you somebody that feel like Shedeur Sanders is not the guy, if you feel like you just don't flat out like Shedeur Sanders, even when he does well, you are going to try to find some type of micro to where you can try to pick apart and try to have some type of negative analysis about it, right? And so for everybody that's always saying it was the Tennessee Titans, nobody's saying that it was the Miami Dolphins when Dylan Gabriel won his first game, right? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of crazy right there. The Tennessee Titans is an NFL football team. Right?
Thank you.
I'm going to say this again. Tennessee Titans is an NFL football team. Okay. So for those who feel like that you just want to dismiss the Titans or discredit the Titans because they are god awful or they came into this game with one win. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because I bet you that one win Tennessee Titans team will whoop every single college football team ass over and over and over and over again, right? This the big boy league, and those dudes get paid too. And if we want to break it down even further, the reason why Tennessee is god awful is because they offense ain't worth a damn, right? But if we keep it a buck, their defense ranks better than the team that we're about to play this Sunday in the Chicago Bears. They're still an NFL team. People are still like got integrity, got dignity. Last time I checked, man, that's Jeffrey Simmons on that defensive line, right?
That man
so
is
for
a
people
monster.
to like with all type of consciousness in the world, make the conscious decision to dismiss his numbers and his historic performance, all because you was playing against a team that's a quote unquote bad football team, then that's a bad job out of you, right? Because you got to be able to give credit when credit is due. And if you're going to give criticism, like if you're going to be the type of person that give criticism and have that same type of energy when this dude has clearly came out here and boiled his ass out when nobody really gave him a shot to really do so.
Earl, I am now excited about this core, man. This core, I mean, you throw Judkins in, mind you, Judkins, no off season. Bond, no off season. Harold Fannin Jr., he's already going to break the tight end rookie. He already broke that record, right? Now you got Dylan Sampson, right? You see, he caught the ball well down the stretch. You got Mason Graham coming along. Man, you throw 12 in there, and you might have snuck around and got you a quarterback. I'm super excited to see this core. And the fact that these young dudes is going to get an opportunity these next 4 weeks coming up against good teams like the Bears, the Bills, Steelers, Bengals. What are you looking forward to in terms of what you want to see from this young collective moving forward in these next couple of games?
So the title, a little sneak peek. The title of the show or the title of the Canva is called for the Ultimate 216 show we're doing. It's called Building on a Success, and I think that's quite honestly what they need to do. Right? It's just to continue to get better, but also be consistent on the things that you build on. Right? You look at this young core, man, with Shedeur Sanders, with Quinshawn, with Dylan Sampson, and Harold Fannin Jr. on the offensive side of the ball. Those are some pretty nice building blocks for a team that is considered to have not a lot of good talent on their roster, right? And it gets you excited about, forget the future right now, just these next 4 games, because the work that's put in throughout the week, the communication that's had throughout the week is only going to make what we see on Sundays better each and every week, right? Now, granted, fences is going to make their adjustments and the challenges might be different from week to week. But when you build that chemistry and that camaraderie, like, it makes being able to overcome those obstacles a little bit easier, right? And I know this is like a far-fetched comparison right now, man, but remember, like, when LeBron first left and you seen him unveil and you seen like him, D Wade, Chris Bosh all on the stage. That's how I'm looking at Shedeur, Harold Fannin, and Quinshawn Judkins right now.
Man, listen, can you imagine we said that on UCSS? Oh my God.
Oh man. Come on.
This is the reason.
Ridiculous. Like,
you guys, this is the reason you
but
guys
I'm a fan, and I'm allowed to be excited, right? And I'm allowed to speak positive affirmations. I think all 3 of these dudes can be that good. They have all showed you in their own way that they got that it factor, right? Like, we probably getting to a point now to where, like, Harold Fanning probably looking at Genty and Judkins like, man, rookie of the year, where?
We
all talking to? Who we all talking to?
What are you talking about? You nice? Nah, bro. And look, more than anything, listen, Earl, I think, and we're going to do this. We're going to, get here. We may get to a couple of super chats. We appreciate y'all pulling up, man. Make sure y'all catching up about 7:30. Move right on up. Follow us right over there. We got another show planned for you. Ultimate 216. We're going to be right over there at 7:30. Make sure you catch that on YouTube. Here's the thing, though, Earl. I think the thing about a lot of people, and we don't get, and I'm not saying this no knock to nobody else. You ain't going to find, I don't care who you is on that show. You're not going to find anybody more invested in the Cleveland Browns than me and Earl. Let me tell you that again. We don't got secondary and third-dairy teams. We do meet and greets. We do meet and greets in the streets during the games, like during Sundays. We go to the muni lots. People say, G. Bush, how many Browns hats you got? All of them. If they come out with something, I got all the hats. You ain't never gonna meet nobody who is invested more in the Cleveland Browns than us. This the only team we root for. I ain't play professionally. I root for OU, McKinley, and the Browns. I can't say that for everybody else on these shows. No disrespect. We got to say what we got to say. This is our squad. So we literally want to be excited. When I say I'm excited, I wake up looking for an opportunity to watch for the future and to see and figure out. And for once, I woke up last game and, Shedeur was playing. You don't know the feeling after that game. The feeling after that game of, even though we lost, I just had something to look forward to. I knew that it showed they cared. It's a lot of times we don't even know if the Browns was caring. But these young boys is out here playing. They feel like they underdogs. And when I say I'm excited to see the last 4 games, I'm excited, bro.
This is how I could put it, right? Because I think everything you said is just absolute facts, right? And I think, with me personally, because I am a producer and I spend a lot of times behind the scenes or upstairs, people forget, I'm really, really passionate about this team. And every opportunity I get to talk about this team, I am going to do so. The running joke has been the Cleveland Browns and broke me. I'm a fan. Forget all this. I'm a fan. I worked a regular 9 to 5 for 12, 13, 14, 15 years. Just being a fan, having cooler talk, right? Before any of this was a thing. I am really, really passionate about this team. The name on the front of the jersey matters to me more than the name on the back of the jersey. But damn, it's a beautiful thing because me and you come from that era to where we ain't got different favorite teams, but I got a lot of different favorite players.
Sure do.
It's a beautiful thing when one of your favorite players can don your favorite team's colors, right? To me, that's that's the perfect marriage right there, right? That's all money in, no money out. RP Nipsey Hussle. That's exactly how I look at it, right?
I didn't even think he was getting Shedeur. Me and Earl was texting him dang, bro, I wonder who gonna pick him up. Browns moved up. I said, oh, Hell no. What?
Y'all seen my initial reaction for his first career touchdown pass when we did the live watch party, man. Like, I'm really, really passionate about this team, and I want to see this team have success. And I believe that Shedeur Sanders can be the franchise quarterback of this team. I ain't no prophet. I ain't nothing like that, man. But I am a visionary and I'm a dreamer, right? And I've been having visions of this dude, like I said, since that Raiders game last year. And I think that was week 3 of the 2024 season. I just think that all football play aside, he has everything else that you need in a franchise quarterback, right? When you got that self-confidence, that self-belief, when you a believer, when you a man of the cloth, when you got like all of that, and then you double down on the fact that you are a stewardess over your craft, meaning that you do work hard, despite what some people might say. And when you do understand that you have that armor on and you can actually like handle everything, all the scrutiny, like all the adversity, man, that's only half the battle. Boom. Then you can show up on the football field too. That's a win-win situation. You talk about that young core. Okay, now it's time to build around it. Quite honestly, I know a lot of people be down on Jerry Jeudy, man, but I think he's playing out of position. I think Jerry Jeudy is a slot receiver. I do, right?
I agree.
If you could draft a Cardell Tate, maybe sign a George Pickens, right? Or draft a Tyson and maybe sign another wide receiver.
Some help.
And then put Jeudy in a slot. All of a sudden, Jeudy looks different, right? Get another tight end in here to go with Harold Fanning Jr. You know what I'm saying? Invest in some offensive linemen. Invest in another running back, even though you got Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. Don't none of us like Jerome Ford. All right, let's be clear about that, right? You need to go get you another running back. And then this offseason, what if Quinshon Judkins actually turns into an every single down back, right? Like, I'm having visions of how this thing can play itself out, right? That's just me.
Hey, listen, man, I'm excited about it, man. For Earl, for G. Bush, you got your last comment, bro?
Yeah, also, man, shout out to every single last one of y'all, man. I've been reading some of the people in the chat, man, since y'all came aboard, man. Just thanks supporting me. Thanks supporting me in my journey. Make sure y'all follow me on my new Twitter page. Y'all know I got hacked. Earl of Pearl _216. I'll shoot y'all a follow back, man. But thanks to all y'all for showing love, man.
Appreciate you. Peace.